Hey, hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chris. Every day I do a vlog, and I'm doing one for 1,000 days. So if you could subscribe, a subscribe would be absolutely awesome. Thank you so much. And I talk about something uniquely different every day. And today, here's an interesting one. I've seen it a couple of times. You've got friends who try to convince you to live their lifestyle. Now, they've come out of a broken friendship, relationship, whatever, situationship, whatever you want to call it, and they live this pretend lifestyle. And they're saying that everything is fine and okay. But the reality is, they've lived a very broken existence. They've had failed relationship after failed relationship, yet feel qualified to give you advice about your circumstance and your relationship. And they almost want you to split up with the partner that you're with so that you can live a similar lifestyle to them, which I guess validates their position. So there is the conundrum. Do you see common sense and not allow them to persuade you to living that very same lifestyle? Do you keep them as a friend but at a distance? Or do you just sever the connection and go your separate way? Well, I believe that if you've got a friend that's almost enticing you to separate from the partner that you love or care about, then that is something that I think a friend should not get involved in. And I don't think you should listen to the negative approach that they have about your relationship. If you do listen to that, then it certainly says a lot about your relationship, and it says that you probably don't love the person you're with anyway. Which is fine. If that's the case, you don't love them and you want to separate from them anyway, then that's perfectly okay. But what I would say is that you've got to understand that there are friends out there who want you to live the same lifestyle that they are living. And I think if you have friends that encourage you to do that, then that is that is a boundary that's crossed. I don't think you should allow friends to cross those boundaries. And I think you should be smart enough to be able to say, well, whilst I like you as a friend, and maybe there's a lot of levels that we connect on, I certainly won't have you impact and denigrate my relationship with the person that I'm with. That's completely unacceptable. You can't allow that. And if you do allow it, it says really that you didn't love the person that you're with to begin with. And what have you got? You've got probably very little. And that, my friends, is something that you've got to wrap your head around. And there are people like that out there. I know somebody who's got a friend, and I would regard as completely toxic. And they work in an environment where they offer advice to other people, but their lifestyle has been a complete and utter failure as far as I'm concerned. And I personally feel that they're not qualified to offer advice, but they do, and fair play to them if that's what they feel they want to do. I would not take advice from somebody I didn't at least have a respect of in the position that they were in regarding the advice I was seeking. I think you wouldn't go to a priest maybe and ask for financial advice. I don't know. I accept there's probably priests out there who give very good financial advice, but as a rule of thumb, you wouldn't do that, would you? So I think that you need to think about who you actually do take advice from. Now, if you've got a friend who's living this broken lifestyle, relationship failure after relationship failure, maybe you wouldn't sensibly take advice from them. It may be that you seek the advice of somebody more qualified, and that probably would be the best way going forward. But for a friend to persuade, entice, cajole you into making that decision, I think in a relationship you probably wouldn't want to bring that to the table in the beginning. Probably wouldn't want to tell them. You probably wouldn't want to allow them access to that kind of information, because in doing so maybe you denigrate your position in that relationship, and maybe that's something that you should get out of anyway. And knowing that, you wouldn't involve your friend anyway. I think if you're a common sense approach type person, and if you are experiencing issues in your relationship, we all talk to our friends about things and family, etc., and that's quite normal. But at the end of the day, it does fall on you and your approach to what the relationship is. And I think it's interesting that there are friends who are quite happy to tell you what to do with your relationship. They must, at all costs, I think, keep neutral if they can. Because I guess if the advice is adhered to and that pathway followed, it's a pathway of pain. It's a pathway of suffering, I think, maybe unnecessarily. You've got to act in your own best interest, with your own heart, and doing your own thing, and following your own pathway. I did see something very interesting the other day, that if you have issues in your relationship, do not speak a word of it to your friends or family, and the reasoning for that is that you don't want them to feel anything less about the person you're with, especially if you make up a few hours later or a day later, because all that does is give the people you sought advice from a hook in which to continue to feel denigrated by. So there we go, guys. Anyway, if you're not subscribed, please give me a subscribe. I'll be back again tomorrow with a completely new video. As always, take care. See you tomorrow. Bye now.